now it's still setting up again.
It's signing on my end that we're live on Facebook.
All right. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining me here. Today is my very first live on Facebook with a interviewer, something like that.
Interviewee, yeah.
This is Donna M. Jolie. She is a woman. Her stuff started showing up on my feed. I'm not exactly sure how, but she caught my attention. She's an American woman married to an Indian man who's world schooling and has been traveling the world with her family, living life outside of the box. She's always upbeat. She's always happy. And so I started paying attention to her post. One night, I don't know exactly how it all happened, but we talked on Facebook and she recommended an amazing book to me. It was called You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And I loved it. Jen Sincero is funny, hilarious, great stuff, great content, great activities. And that was really where I started to realize there was another way I could up my game. And Donna has been doing that. So we're going to interview her today. Thank you so much for being here, Donna. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Joy. I just love that you brought up that story about us like just randomly chatting one night, because I think one of us butt dialed each other. Like we didn't even know each other. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I guess, all right, I'm going to talk to Joy today. And we had this amazing conversation. And it was like one of those serendipitous things that it was just like the right people are attracted into your life at the right time. Right. And it was just, yeah, it was really sweet. So yeah, thank you for that.
Well, thank you for taking my butt call.
Yeah.
Donna, since you're usually traveling the world, where in this beautiful world are you today?
Yeah, so right now our family is living in the Lake Tahoe area of Northern California. So I'm originally from California, but like you said, we have been traveling for the last couple of years, kind of bouncing all over the place really for the last 10 years. Haven't really stayed in one spot for more than probably a year and a half at the most. So yeah, we're in Tahoe right now. Absolutely loving it. We've spent the summer swimming in lakes and hiking, and now the weather's really getting cold and my kids are super excited for the snow. I'm like, I'm out of here. Let's go to Bali. But it's all good.
I hear you. So being a world schooling mother, I know you're definitely doing a lot more freestyle than following the system. What does your average day look like?
Great question. So generally I try and get up about an hour before my kids. So my kids usually are up by 6, which means I'm up by 5. And that gives me about an hour just to myself where I love listening to, positive motivational stuff in the morning, doing some meditation, pulling some oracle cards, like just kind of getting into the vibe for my day. Right. Then my kids get up and usually for until around 10ish or so, we're doing a little schooling and I'm doing a little bit of work. I go to the gym and I try and wrap up all of the things that I have to do every day by noon. And that way the rest of the day is just for my kids and I. And so then all afternoon, we, like I said, go to the lake, we go for hikes, we go to the bike park, we do crafts, whatever it is that, my kids really want to do for the day. We spend the day hanging out together, playing and adventuring. And then luckily my kids go to bed nice and early. So by 7 o'clock, they're tucked into bed and I get some time to myself again. Often I'll, hop back online, check in on my business, follow up with my team, and, hang out with my husband. It's pretty simple. It's a beautiful life. I'm so happy. Living the way that we live and being able to spend my days really making choices for myself and for my kids in a way that feels fully aligned, right? It's not like rushing to work and going to commutes and going to daycare and all the stuff that we used to do. Now it's fully like this beautiful, simple, stress-free life.
Awesome. Okay, I hear you. So what makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Oh, I think more than anything, it's being surrounded by women who are doing big things in their lives, who not only are, so many of my friends and people who I'm connected with are unschooling their kids or traveling the world. They're living these amazing lives and that's all well and wonderful. But what's even more inspiring to me is women coming out of their, what I like to call mommyhood slumber, motherhood slumber, where they're just sort of going through the tasks, going through their days, exhausted with childcare, making food, cleaning the house, like all the things that we all have to do. And they've come out of that and they've really tapped into what their vision is for life, where they're going, what they're doing, what they're creating, and being in that energy of other inspired, empowered women who are setting the example for our children of what motherhood, what being a woman actually looks like and can be, that's empowered, right? And it's not just being the stay-at-home mom or the mom who's exhausted and trying to do it all, you know?
Awesome. Yes, you can definitely be very tired being a mom.
Yeah. And especially as a single mom where you're wearing all of the hats, you're doing all of the things, right? It's tough, but you know, there are simpler ways, better ways to do things where you can like get the support that you need, take care of yourself, prioritize self-care, all of that, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I read that you have a fierce need to be different, or you did when you were a kid. Are you still that way today? And what do you do to be different?
Well, okay. So when I was a kid, it was a fierce need to be different. I didn't want to be like everybody else, right? I grew up in a very white, upper middle class university town where everybody was kind of the same. It's not so much a need to be different. It's a need to be my authentic self, right? I've always kind of walked to the beat of my own drum, thought a little bit differently, had goals that, you know, were different than a lot of the people that I went to school with or to university with. I'd never really bought into the 9-to-5 job, corporate career, do one thing for the rest of your life. That's what my parents did. And that's like, it seemed awful to me. And I never wanted to do that. And so since becoming a mother, since really stepping back into my own authentic self and into my own authentic voice, I've realized that the best thing that I could possibly do with this one human experience that I've got is to be me as boldly and as fiercely as I possibly can.
Okay.
And so that's really what I live my life by now is, what do I want to be doing? What impact do I want to be making? How do I want to be living my life? Not how society thinks I should be living my life, or if my mom approves of my choices or any of that kind of stuff.
How do you get your answers? Like, how do you know that you really want to do something and you're not just pulling it out of, you saw somebody else doing it and you thought it would be the right way to do it?
Yeah, great question. You know, it's really tapping into your own guidance system, right? And listening to those soul nudges, to your intuition, getting really clear on who you are and what your values are. So for me, my values really are, you know, having fun, being courageous, being authentic, and standing in love and just sharing love and, you know, being a heart-centered person. And so if something to me isn't feeling right, if somebody's asked me to do something and I'm like, there's just that feeling in your gut, that niggling inside your body, they're like, this doesn't really feel like what I want to be doing, then I just say no. And it's releasing the guilt, right? Of like, I should do this because somebody wants something from me or needs something from me, and this would be really helpful for them. I love helping people, absolutely. But if there's something within my soul that is saying, this is maybe not the best choice for you, then I really just listen to that and honor that and trust myself. So it comes down to just trusting yourself.
Yeah, that takes some practice for all of us.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's been a long journey to come to that place, right? And a lot of self-awareness and practicing it every single day, right? And you don't get it right all the time. Sometimes it's not perfect, right? But it's a step in the right direction.
I feel ya. I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, is it true that you used to hate social media before you became the Facebook and Instagram goddess that you are now?
Yes, I hated it. I really would only ever go onto Facebook because I had these dreams of traveling the world and I wanted to see how other people were doing it, right? So I would go into the world schooling groups, I'd go into like the full-time families groups on Facebook and ask questions about Like, how are you financing your lifestyle? And, you know, where are the places that you go? And where are the world schooling hubs around the world, right? But I hated the feeling I got when I was on social media, like scrolling through my page or my feed, because it was mostly political stuff, negative stuff, right? Like people getting in fights about whether to vaccinate their kids or not, or I just didn't like the feeling of it. And I didn't want to play in that space. I didn't want to participate in it. But I had this fierce desire to travel and to be out in the world, living our life totally free. And I knew I needed to find a way to make an income online because I'm not from a wealthy family. I don't have a trust fund, right? Like we didn't have a ton of savings. We needed income coming in. And so what I was learning through all of the people that I was following was social media is really one of the most powerful and impactful ways to be able to craft a business and monetize it online.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I saw that you wrote, "Hey, amazing lady, you're a woman who always gets what she wants. What are you going to create today?" How did you use that to get to where you are today?
Oh, yeah, that's what I say to myself every single morning. You've done your research, Joy. Amazing. How did I get to that? That's really come from mindset reprogramming is what I like to call it. And it's really like, I used to open my eyes. My kids were already awake. They were whining because they wanted food, or they were tired, or somebody needed their diaper changed. And I'd be like, oh my God, really? This is how we get to start the day. And I hated.
Many moms feel that way.
Yeah. I hated that was how I started my day, how I was waking up. That was the energy that I was leaning into. And so I made a conscious choice that by intentionally waking up before my children, so I could give myself the space that I really truly desired for, to start the day on the right foot, to have a cup of coffee in peace and quiet, to be able to meditate and, you know, touch in with myself. I needed to start having a different internal dialogue as well. Right. And so it's over the last couple of years, I've played around with all sorts of different things. And that's the one that's really stuck, where it's like, I've opened my eyes, I'm still laying in bed, and I have a little conversation with myself, like pumping myself up, like, hey, you are this amazing woman. You get to create your reality. So what does that get to be today? Right. And that sets the tone of what I want to make the day, what I want to call into my reality, and not just let the day unfold and we'll see where it goes. It really puts the power and the control back in my hands, and I can set forth with an intention and create what I want, because the dreams and the desires and the businesses that we all desire for, they don't happen like that. There's no overnight success stories, right? It's conscious choices every single day that eventually that compound effect will take effect, and you're living your dream, right? You're living what you've been calling in, but it takes that conscious effort every single day and the commitment. And so that's one of my favorite little tricks for, really setting the tone for the day.
Giving yourself a pep talk.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
I love it. I've been doing small little tweaks every morning to our morning routine, and it's actually our morning routines are getting easy now. And today I was like, oh, we're on the road because we walked to school. It's like, this has been easy. But it was like, saying, I know I can shift this. This does not have to be a drudgery to get up, to go to school, to get out the door, to feed the dog.
Totally.
So,
and that's what it is, right? It's 80% just your mindset. And if you consciously say to yourself, I've got more than enough time in my day to do all of the things that I want to do, yes, you literally find these little pockets of time that you never really realized you had. When you flip the story from, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, come up with all these excuses, like there's a solution to everything. So switch your mindset and find the positive, and the positive finds you.
I love that. Find the positive and the positive finds you. Ooh, that's good. Awesome. That's so true. So my next question is, how would your parents describe what you do for a living? What do you do?
Oh my God. I don't think they have any clue. No, my mom knows, because so my mom says that I'm a distributor for Enagic. And that is a very small piece of what I do. That is the financial vehicle for what I do. My mom absolutely loves the products that Enagic makes. And she tells all of her friends about it. And so that's how she describes what I do. My stepdad and my dad, they think I just play on social media. They have no freaking clue how I have built a business.
Hey, that's okay. That works. All right. But from what I understand, you made more this month than you made when you were back to work. You made in 6 months of working.
Yeah. So I studied to become so I got a master's degree because I wanted to be able to travel the world. And so I was like, cool, I'll go get a master's degree in public health and I'll be able to gallivant all over the world, implementing public health programs. Well, after, $50,000 degree later, I find out, well, that's not really, what public health is necessarily. I ended up working for the state of California, making a few $1,000s a month, working full time, doing public health programming and policy, which was great. But I was in my 20s and I had like a big vision, and I didn't want to spend my life being a government employee. I didn't want to spend my life sitting in a cubicle. And so I quit. I gave my boss I gave her like 2 or 3 months notice. And I was like, look, I'm too young to settle for this. I'm off. And she actually tried really, really hard to keep me. And she was like, you can go for 6 months and then come back and we'll save your job and you can come back to this. And I was like, no. I have a feeling like there's no coming back to a quote unquote career after this. So, and that's exactly what happened. I set off and traveled the world, and I haven't looked back. I haven't really been employed ever since. And that was, well, nearly 15 years ago. But yeah, it's been in the last couple of years that I've really honed in on who I am, what I'm really passionate about, and how I want to show up in the world. And so that's all really come together through personal branding and leveraging social media and automation to build a dynamic and very abundant personal brand online.
Okay, awesome. All right, what is the one common myth about your industry that you'd want to say is not true?
Ooh, good question. So I do affiliate marketing, and direct sales is the financial vehicle that really funds my personal brand. And I think when you start getting into the world of direct sales, people have come up with, pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing, and there can be a real negative connotation to those sorts of setups. There are some significant differences to the company that I'm with, Enagic, and the direct sales model that they have. That's quite different from multi-level marketing. However, what I do truly love about it is that it's really attracted into my life a tribe of like soul sisters, like people who are my best friends. And now we get to work and collaborate online together, which is so beautiful. I absolutely adore it. It is, technically network marketing, but I had some limiting beliefs myself that I had to overcome with what does network marketing look like? What is that? And overcoming the skepticism, right? And really looking deeply at what the offer is and how it can impact not only your life, but the lives of others.
Okay, understand. I have friends who are making incredible amounts of money in network marketing, and it's been a industry I've always been interested in, only because it's based around community. And something I have truly been missing. Living internationally has been wonderful, but I have definitely missed community. Having soul sisters, that's my language. Having someone you can connect with on a deep level and have those conversations that that push you out of your comfort zone. They kind of kick your butt and say, yo, this might not be the right thing. I need to look at this through a different lens.
So. Yeah, for sure. It's so important. And especially when you're traveling and, you're meeting people here and there and you're like, oh, I could totally be friends with that person. But then you go off in different directions and you never see them again. Right. And it's been lonely. Like our family's been traveling and moving around for the last 10 years. And so, I'll make really deep, amazing connections with people for a few months and then we leave. And that's one piece that I haven't enjoyed about traveling. But now that I've got this online community of over 5,000 people who are spread out all over the globe, and my own smaller team of like 25 people who they're literally like a direct reflection of me. And that's what's so fun, is to be surrounded by people, like you were saying, who can kind of give you that little kick up the pants, who can say, no, Donna, no, Joy, I see so much more. Why are you settling for this? You should be stretching for that.
Yeah, very true. And from what I know, I think you've got 2 of your soul sisters living close to you guys for a few months.
Yeah, and that's exactly. So Bree and her mom, Casey, guys. They are full-time travelers too. So Casey has been living on a catamaran and in an RV. And they decided, hey, Donna's going to be in Tahoe for a couple months. Let's all meet up there and just get to hang out. It's such a treat. It's so much fun. Bree is also an unschooling mom. And so we get together every couple of days and take the kids hiking and hang out in the hot tub. And, Bree and I get to strategize and come up with, ideas and business stuff. And the kids play. It's really a dream come true, honestly, is to have this community of people who are so committed to living their most authentic lives, going for their dreams, not settling for kind of what they've been handed in life, and actually crafting their own reality. And watching that process happen is like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Because honestly, what I'm here to do is enhance the experience of humanity. Okay. And if we can do that one by one by one, right? Helping people uplift and start living their true authentic lives, get money, abundant amount of money into the hands of good people who want to do good things for our planet. That's truly how I believe that we can impact lasting global change.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to kind of switch it just a tiny bit. What is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Oh gosh, my biggest failure. I like to say there's no real failures in life. They're all just learnings. I like to say I just fail forward, right? Just you fail at something and then you pick yourself up and you keep going. I think I don't know, that's a tough one. I think truly, okay, just a second. Not listening to myself earlier in life. Ooh. And, I was really insecure. I had no self-confidence in my 20s. And I was just going through the motions of life, what my parents wanted me to do, what my parents expected me to do. Both my parents are in the medical profession. One's a doctor, one's an advanced practice nurse. And so it was like, go get an education. And so I did. I went and got the education and I was just always so unfulfilled. I wasn't happy. It's not the life I wanted to be living. Not that education is bad, but it wasn't my path. Right. And, again, I don't regret that I went and got a master's degree. I made some incredible friends and I learned so much cool stuff, and it's all part of the journey, but it wasn't soul aligned for me.
Okay.
And what I've learned from that is that as a mother now, I get to support my children and teach them from the ages of 5, 6, 7, 8 to listen to their own intuition, to trust themselves, and to craft a life around what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, and go forward from there, and not fall into these traps of go get an education, go get married, buy a house, like all of the things.
The expectations.
Right? The expectations. Yeah.
As a world. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Oh, without a doubt, my online business community, the Freedom Era, has been absolutely transformational in my life. I stepped in knowing that, yeah, I wanted to create a business, but I didn't realize how much life learning I still had to do, how many blocks I still had to clear, how many scarcity mindset things needed to shift,
okay.
How small I was playing in my life, right? So again, being surrounded by a community of people who are playing big, who are doing big things, and give you the tools you need to actually make that radical change in your life attached to a business strategy, for sure, that's been like the best. Also, absolutely love listening to podcasts. I'm really, as you know, into entrepreneurship, living your best life. So some of my favorite ones have been Lewis Howes. What's it called? Shoot, it's escaping me right now. Anyways, Lewis Howes podcast is amazing. Payday with Ray Ray is amazing. Manifestation Babe is great.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like
Ray?
Payday with Ray Ray. Yeah, she so these are great. Like when I go to the gym or I go for a run, rather than listening to music, I listen to people who are a couple steps ahead of me on their entrepreneurial journey, who have created those multiple 6-figure and 7-figure businesses, who are interviewing some of the best in the world when it comes to business and mindset. And just cultivating that within myself has been incredible. Drinking ceremonial grade cacao has been fantastic. I'm a major coffee lover, but I start to get a stomach ache if I drink too much of it. And what I love about cacao is that it really helps you drop into your heart space and connect in with your intuition. And so it's a beautiful way to start your day, or like a nice afternoon pick-me-up when your energy maybe is a little bit low and you're kind of having that like frantic energy if you've got lots to do. It really helps to ground you. And so that's been a beautiful ritual to add into my days.
Okay. I've had cacao a few times. I wasn't so impressed. So I do love my chocolate.
Well, my favorite brand here in the US is called Firefly Chocolate. I can drop a link for you guys in below this at the end. And what I love about it is that it's sourced really, really well from different places around the world, like Peru and Bolivia, where, it's fair, right? They're paying farmers fair wages and not exploiting them. And it's all organic and, it's great. So
love it. Love it. All right. Well, where can listeners my last question, where can listeners find you online? Where do you hang out?
Yeah, so mostly I'm on Facebook. That's so it's Dona M. Jolie. You can just look me up that way. I also play on Instagram a little bit, but not nearly as much. I also love doing stories every day. So check in on my stories. You'll get kind of behind the scenes of what's going on in Dona's world, when it comes to like unschooling and running a business and all of the things. So yeah.
Beautiful. I've thoroughly enjoyed your post. So thank you. Thank you so much for your time and energy and for allowing me to interview you. You inspire me all the time. You've brought tears to my eyes multiple. And keep reaching for those dreams. Keep showing us how you're doing them so that I can find. It's easy. What is Dona doing? Okay, how do I imitate that?
Hey, you've got your vision boards behind you, so that's an amazing step, right? I've got mine on my computer and I look at it every single day. Like, what am I working for? What am I striving for? Right? So you don't lose sight of it, because it's easy to lose sight of your dreams when you're just busy getting through the day. So
very true. Well, that's the thing. If we can work on improving ourselves a tiny bit every day, even if we mess up and slip and fall backwards, it's easier to get back up and keep going.
Exactly. That's what I say. 1% better every single day, right? And exactly. You'll eventually get there. So
you guys can find her on Facebook or Instagram. Look her up, follow her. She's got some great posts. It inspires me all the time. Thank you so much
for joining
us on the Facebook. Take care of yourselves.
Awesome. Mwah. Love you, girl.